Greetings, beautiful people. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's get some music going. Appreciate y'all coming through. Yes, indeedy. Tap that like button coming on into the stream. I surely appreciate y'all. All right, Bakerman Jr., thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming through. Salute to the chat. I hope everybody's having a great day. Boy, these YouTube streets hot. I'm talking about hotter than the last tamales I ate. That's why I ain't really been fooling with no tamales because they were so hot. Just like these YouTube streets. Listen, CC, there's a whole bunch of that going on, and I'm in my lane, in my little cubby hole, minding my own damn business. Okay. I appreciate y'all. Listen, you know I'm not one for long intros because we're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about it. We putting some folk on Front Street today. You know, listen, I know there's a lot of hardworking people out here. I know people, many of us, many people hold multiple jobs, got multiple streams of income, which requires maintaining it, effort, discipline, time, resources, and all that other good stuff. But then you got some folk out here that think that they don't have to do nothing but exist and multiply. It's all they got to do is multiply, okay? And everybody else supposed to take care of them. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm starting to have issues with that. So, well, I've always had them, but now I'm starting to be more vocal because I have a platform in which I can do so because it's my business, right? It's my channel. And I got somebody's gonna echo that on my behalf.
This is my show, okay? This is my show. This is my show. You understand? This is my show. This is my show, man.
Listen, okay, this is my show. I can do that. That's right, CC. I am not your bank or ATM machine. That part. And when we pay taxes before we even get our checks, right? For those that are W-2 employees, guess what? We don't have a say on what comes out. And if you do have a lot of exemptions, you're going to end up having to pay more at the end of the year, which means, guess what? You don't really have a say where that money goes. People say, oh, well, if you vote, you know, if everybody votes, then that's how you can vocalize and allocate where your money goes. But I think I've been living long enough to say, and from what I have observed, that the powers that be do what they want with our money. They give us the imagination and the illusion that we actually have a say when we are really powerless over where our monies go, if we pay taxes or not, how much we pay, unless you learn the tax laws, of course, and etc., right? So we're going to dive into a story that has gone viral, y'all, but more than that, it exposes the cracks in our system and in our culture. We got this sister over here that's got 7 children, currently pregnant with her 8th child by guess how many fathers? Let's do the math on that. She got 8 children. Chances are at least, or at the most, 8 different fathers. And what really caught my attention about this particular topic was her boldness and her sense of entitlement, bragging about the government taking care of her and her tribe or her children. And yet and still, out of 8 baby daddies, you couldn't get one to stick around. You couldn't get one to make it a full family. But yet and still, you out here just reproducing and out here multiplying. And what are you doing to ensure not just their present and maintaining the household, because you can't be raising them with 8 and then you're the only person that is the major influence in their life. It's not possible. Okay? It's just not possible. She even goes as far to admit that she receives $3,000 a month in SNAP benefits, and that someone inside of the EBT office is helping her receive that $3,000 for her soon-to-be tribe of 8. You would think it ended there. It does not. She also claims to receive child support from each of the fathers and encourages viewers not to judge her. And in her own words, she killing the game. She's killing the game. Okay? So salute to the chat. Hey, we got return of Mr. Oates. I'm getting spicy. Listen, if you read the description of my YouTube page from day one, and I'm over a year and a half into this channel, the first thing that I disclose is I have many sides to me. I am multifaceted. I've got many different avenues and sides of my personality. And though I have a very serious side, I also have a side where I like to make light of certain situations, because if you stay serious and you don't have a balance, we all know how left that can go, right? We got Easy Did It in the building, right? We got CC in the building. Appreciate y'all for coming through. We got my Salaya Ben Ya in the building. Shout out to my mods. Shout out to any of my members that may be in the building. I'm sure, I think Salaya is, and yes, Salaya is, I think you're a premium member, or you have my highest membership. So thank you for the support on that, Salaya. I appreciate, and anyone else that has. I don't check it as often because, you know, I'm still learning this YouTube streets, but my appreciation runs deep and it's very authentic. And I appreciate every last one of y'all. We got CP3 in the building. Thank y'all for coming through. And anybody else I might have missed, charge it to my head and not my heart, right? So we're going to go right into watching this video, and then we're going to break some stuff down that I thought of pertaining to how we can basically not just, as she say, don't judge her, but I'm going to critique her. Okay. Now, if she want to look at it as judgment, so be it. However, you big, bad, and bold enough to come on social media platforms where the footage is forever. It goes into the cloud. It doesn't go away once you put it out there, no matter what your intent is, no matter what your response is. If you have remorse or regret after the fact, guess what? You have opened yourself up for some type of critique or reaction, or for somebody to vocalize their opinions, right? So nonetheless, here we go, y'all.
Yes, we are killing it, honey. We are killing it. No, I'm not ashamed. I've been a mom since age 14. I got pregnant at age 14 with my first child. I've been doing this by myself and getting help from the government. Why not get help from the government? I'm a single parent. I'm a single mother out here raising these kids by myself. So yes, all of them on child support. So I'm getting all those child support checks, and I'm getting my 3K in food stamps. I have a food stamp plug that helps me. Yes, a food stamp plug that helps me get 3K a month. And he works in the office. So yeah, don't judge me.
She said, don't judge her. I'm here to unpack this. And I want to know, how did we get here? You bold enough to not just come on here and, according to you, give some transparency and some testimony and brag. which I question some of the authenticity of. You got 7 baby daddies out there that you're getting consistent regular child support from. But I digress. That's not the actual topic, right? But you say don't judge me, but you killing the game. Now I wouldn't judge you, or I wouldn't have an opinion one way or the other if I didn't feel like my pocket was being tapped into, or my dollars weren't being affected one way or the other, especially without my say so or my direction of my contribution of my hard-earned money. Because I've been working for a long time, I've been paying taxes for a long time, and I'm feeling some type of way with these self-snitching people coming online and being so braggadocious and so unaccountable to say, you know what? Don't say nothing to me. Don't judge me. Don't have an opinion one way or the other. But I'm defrauding the government. I'm having multiple children out of wedlock. We're going to get off into where does this leave the children a little bit later on, because there's so many different things that is wrong with this picture. But every time I listen to this clip, it's a whole nother, it takes me to a whole nother vantage point, and it irritates me just that much more because of her attitude and her level of defiance and basically playing in people's faces. So no, you don't have to work. You don't have to pour into your own family. All you got to do is lay down and procreate. You don't have to choose wisely. You don't have to be particular about who you choose to father you. Where did it go that it was okay to have a family by one man? Now, life circumstances, it does what it does. I'm not making judgment or light of. But when you get to 7 and 8 different children from every child that has a different father, no wonder you messed up. You got all them different seeds planted in you. Your children gonna be confused because all the DNA, don't none of the shit match, right? All these different energies. Listen, don't get me going. We're gonna finish this off. This is not a long one.
That's it. We all go through things. Just don't judge me.
So basically, she is saying, don't judge me, but I'm killing the game. I'm getting child support, which means you spending more time at the courthouse than you are anywhere else, or filling out paperwork or down at the EBT office, making sure that your children are medically covered. $3,000 in SNAP benefits. Now, I did a little bit of research, and so across the board, when you look at the average for each person that qualifies, and this is prior to Trump's modifications, or I don't even know if those rules have been implemented yet that everybody's in an uproar about. However, it's averaging out to about $230 a person without any employment. So if you just sitting home and you not claiming any income, the max that one person on average, at least currently, is between $230 and $280. So if you got, and I did the math on that, if you got 8 children and everybody getting $230, you at $1,840. That's a far cry from $3,000. So that means every single month somebody is assisting you in spending more tax monies. And I would like to see a full figured or a full portrait of her, because chances are she has a BMI index that's a little on the healthy side, for lack of a better word, reading between the lines. But ain't nobody over there starving. And especially if you're not working and you're maintaining, once again, children, but you're not raising them. You can't be, because you're still procreating, which means you're still laying down with strange men, or you're still switching off Daddies, after every child, they're discardable. Yeah, I ain't dealing with you no more. You just a check. My children are just a check. The government is a check. Everybody's a check. Check, 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 check. Where is any type of integrity? Do we not have goals anymore? And the system wasn't built for this. Government assistance programs like SNAP were originally created, listen, as temporary support for people in need, not long-term financial strategies. I want to hear this one more time for those that may be just coming in, and for those that heard it the first time. If you're anything like me, once you hear it again, you're going to pay attention to another part of the video that she speaks on to get more of a full context, because I wanted to show, instead of just doing the audio, I wanted to show her defiance. I wanted to show her braggadocious attitude. I wanted for her to display exactly how bold and emboldened she is, to feel that no matter what her decisions are, no matter how poor her decision-making process is about her entire life, that doesn't just affect her, but her children, first and foremost, because I could care less about how she feel. At the end of the day, you feeling some type of way, like you getting over. And when people feel like you playing in their faces, and you, like I said earlier, is self-snitching, that's a problem for me. But let's hear this one more time before I take this woman off of my screen.
Okay, we listen and we don't judge. Yes, I have 7 kids, and I am currently pregnant right now with my 8th child. 7 baby daddies and another one. I got 8 baby daddies. Yes, we're getting 3K in food stamps. Yes, we are killing it, honey. We are killing it. No, I'm not ashamed. I've been a mom since age 14. I got pregnant at age 14 with my first child.
Bring shame back. I want shame to come back. For you to say that you got 7 kids by 7 different baby daddies, now 8 because you currently pregnant, which means you ain't got no time to work. You're too busy having children. I want shame to come back, because this is part of the problem, is you don't feel like you have any issues. You feel like you're supposed to be everybody else's problem. And we're living in a government that has loopholes enough in it to embolden people to feel such a way. And I'm sure, I'm curious as to know how old her oldest child is, and it would give a good indication of how long she has been on these programs and started getting SNAP and child support and Medicaid and whatever else she's getting. I guaranteed if she got that many kids, she on Section 8. That's a whole nother situation that the taxpayers' monies are paying for and supplementing. It's supposed to be a supplemental program. That's what EBT or SNAP, it's in the title of SNAP, supplemental, nutritional, and what else? Finish it for me. Supplemental, nutritional, something program. The point being is, when people manipulate the system, it drains the resources from those also that genuinely need it. You around here seem to be, if you having 8 kids, you able-bodied to work. You can lay down, you can go through labor. I went through labor twice and brought 2 children into this world, and it about wiped me out of here. I personally, for me, I don't like pain like that. Me and pain don't really coincide and get along like that. And if I could afford 8 children, I still wouldn't want 8 children. No disrespect to those who do. I come from a large family. It just isn't my cup of tea. But if you can lay down and give birth 8 times, 7 successfully, and keep having children, that means you can get your butt up and go somewhere and earn an income, in my personal opinion. Now, she don't want nobody to judge her but her behavior leads to more scrutiny, restrictions, and stigma for everybody else. So you walking around here on social media telling everybody not to say nothing about what you got going on, but it ain't your money that's funding your lifestyle with your plethora of children, your tribe. Now, if she would have said, look, I'm in school, I'm working, if she came more humble and was like, I know I made some mistakes, better late than never to learn from those mistakes, she would get a little more, maybe not much, but I would maybe consider giving her some grace. But for you to just throw it in people's faces and say, yeah, I'm killing the game right now because I think I done figured it out. That bothers me, right?
I've been doing this by myself and getting help from the government.
No, well, that's a contradiction right there, because you can't be doing it by yourself if everybody else is paying for your children. If you're doing it by yourself, then that means you're not receiving any assistance from any other sources. What are you doing by yourself? Deciding to have all these children? You may be going down to the courthouse by yourself to file these child support papers. You might be going to the SNAP office or to the benefit office in order to fill out paperwork. But now most of that can be done online. So if you have a cell phone, a lot of those applications can be done from the toilet, can be done from the car, can be done on the bus, can be done from your bedroom. You don't even have to leave the confines of your home or the comfort of your home that somebody else is probably paying for. And unfortunately, we live in a culture where the more children you have, the more it seems that you are rewarded financially and fiscally based off of the number of people in your family. But you're not doing this by yourself. Let's continue.
Why not get help from the government? I'm a single parent. I'm a single mother out here raising these kids by myself.
Who told you to have all these children? Was somebody in your ear telling you you need to go get a new baby daddy and have another child, put him on child support, and then keep the cycle going until you tap out and the government says enough is enough? Look, I'm going to say something and I don't care who don't like it. In extreme situations, and I consider this to be an extreme situation, there should be some laws in place to tie your tubes to prevent you from having these children that you can't solely take care of, but you're the one that's solely making the decision. I bet you out of them 8 baby daddies, probably 7 of them told you they didn't want no kids. Because if that was the case, somebody would be in that house helping you raise those children outside of you doing this by yourself. What, you want a cookie? You want a reward? You want a hug? You're already getting a whole bunch of money from the government. And then in the same sentence, you're telling people that you're doing this by yourself. This is not plausible. It is not feasible, and it doesn't make any sense to someone that is logical. I would just love to get some history and some family background on her, because again, she said she had her first child at the age of 14. I don't know how old this young lady is, but she doesn't look old enough to have 8 children. You started out the block at 14. That means you have been incapable by law to work anywhere. Most places you need a work permit to work at 15. But by that time, you done had 2 children plus. Now, I want to touch on something else too, but we're gonna go ahead and finish this off. Let me not get ahead of myself. Shout out to the chat. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Thank you so much.
So yes, all of them on child support. So I'm getting all those child support checks, and I'm getting my 3K in food stamps. I have a food.
I just want to say I call cap on the set, because I'm gonna tell you why. By listening to her in a, I don't know what, a 30-40 second clip, listening to her attitude, her demeanor, her vernacular, her haughtiness, her lack of self-accountability, not only is she not choosing wisely, but neither are the baby daddies. So in my opinion, again, if any of them cared enough, either they would have custody of their own child or children or child, because like she said, everybody got a different daddy, or somebody would be more involved and she wouldn't have to be barking about the fact that she's doing this by herself. Okay? And we're going to talk about the silent enablers, the corruption inside the system, because people can only do what is allowed to be done. Whatever the parameters are, people are going to push the envelope. They're going to test the limitations. And she feels like she done got over and became successful by bragging about it on social media and playing in people's faces. Look at the single mothers that get up and go to work, that have to take their children to daycare, to childcare, put them in after school programs, get help from family members to look after them when they are holding down multiple jobs. In most cases, a lot of single moms are going to school while holding down a full-time job. Single fathers as well. I don't want to leave them out. The emphasis tends to be, for the sake of this live stream, on this young lady right here. I got a problem with her. I wouldn't even know she existed if she didn't feel so convicted to come online and tell everybody her business, because she thinks she's bragging. She thinks that she is on a come up. She thinks she getting over. But for some reason, she got to tell it. Let's continue.
Food stamp plug that helps me. Yes, a food stamp plug that helps me get 3K a month. And he works in the office.
Okay, I'm sure he's not going to appreciate that, because we are living where there are government agencies that are paid specifically to scout social media platforms to look for self-snitchers in order to hold them accountable, because they're living in a whole nother dimension, in a whole nother world, to where they believe that they're entitled to something that they don't sweat from the brow to earn. The role of social media in normalizing dysfunction, I believe, is a real big part of the problem. These social media platforms often amplify absolutely outrageous content. Why? Because it gets views. It's content. It helps people not feel so bad about their lives. The shock value. Shock value is big in social media, and the role that it plays in normalizing dysfunction. Shock value can send dangerous messages to impressionable viewers. This is why it is not good to put these devices in these children's hands too young, or allow them to access major platforms and have unregulated access to peruse these platforms, because you have people such like this right here that don't know no damn better, or at least that's how she comes off. And there are so many that will follow her lead, because everybody looking for a bag, everybody looking for a come up. Look at the women, and I'm speaking specifically for the sake of this video and live stream, speaking on women that go after and make it an art and a life's mission to go after high valued men. Why? To secure the bag by procreating with them. They don't stick around. They don't care about a meaningful relationship. And they definitely don't come off as caring about the child or the children, because a child is best served with a full-fledged family. Most single parent homes, that single parent, if they didn't know it, at some point they learned that there's a better way. This ain't it. This is not giving my child the full experience and the full advantage from becoming a whole person, a functional, logical, balanced person in this society. We've begun to glorify the hustle, even if it's built on dysfunction. And this young lady, in my opinion, is very dysfunctional. And she has given birth currently to 7 children. Do you know how that will spread like wildfire? Because if she had her first child at 14, chances are that was instilled in her. She's too convicted. She's too haughty. No humility whatsoever. She's too braggadocious about the whole situation for her to feel like she's wrong on any level, or could have did something different or do something different. Not really understanding. Child support from 8 men, huh? The practicality and consistency, like I said, of that is questionable. Not only that, but it fuels stereotypes that a lot of people use children as financial tools, as a bag, as a come up. That's very selfish. These children aren't children for long. I have 2. And let me tell you, I wouldn't pour so much of myself into them. I wouldn't do it any differently than I've done it. I'm thankful that I had enough wherewithal to understand how big of a choice that is. No matter what it looks like, no matter what my circumstances were, my children always have come first. And I'm grateful for that, because what you pour out into them, you will get back in return. I saw a video the other day on TikTok of this young man raised with a single mom. And this story is all too common, but it's sad nonetheless. He has like 3 or 4 siblings, comes from a single mom home. And the mother started her journey off as being an influencer on social media. Then she started really gaining a following, making some good money or whatever. Then she started to incorporate her children, and it became a family business, whether they wanted to participate or not. But the problem was, or one of the many problems that I saw, is that she was using her children, instead of making it a collective family business, she was using her children in order to build her following. Where her oldest child, which is part of the community, the alphabet community, branched out because things got hot and spicy once he got grown between him and his mother. And he has his own story to tell. Right now, he has 1.2 million followers on TikTok. There was a episode where the other children all are minors. He's the only one that's grown and an adult. And she videotaped as content them coming into the house and asking her, because now they're at teenage years. Now they understanding how the game works. Now they want to know, where is our money? Where is our cut? And she said, it's in this house. It's in the 2 acres that's sitting outside. It's in the food that you put in your belly. But at what cost? Because now you and your oldest child are building some type of wealth off of the dysfunction and separation of your relationship. Both of you are throwing each other up under the bus. And where is the children's best interest in all of this? So it started with the oldest one, and now you got 3 more you're going to have to answer to. But the mom is doing content saying she grown. She ain't got to answer to nobody. She did what she had to do. What's the old saying in adage that children don't ask to be here? That's true. These children are growing up in chaotic environments, normalized as independence. It seems like there is reward attached to being a single parent in this messed up culture that we live in. They don't promote family anymore. You can't even qualify for any of these programs that this woman is bragging about if she had a father in the home. That's how I know she following the bag. There is a very strong possibility that one of those men wanted to be there, maybe try it in the household for the sake of the child. But based off of her attitude and what she has revealed in this small clip, that's not her interest, never has been her interest, and she keeps going. But at some point, the men their feet have to be held to the fire too, because unless she's lying about how many children she got, if I'm a dude and I meet a female and she got 6 children, she got 4 children, hell, if she got 2, I want to know where the daddy at. If there more than one, if there is more than one father, what is the circumstances? How did we get here? And the last thing I'm going to want to do is repeat the cycle with you with a possible child that belongs to me as well. So I'm not going to be procreating with you. We both, as male and female, mother and father, yin yang, left, right, there has to be some type of accountability on both sides. Okay? So, what examples are being set about work, about ethics, and even more so, I want to talk about the relationships as well. She hasn't mentioned anything about a relationship, not even with her children. The only thing she has spoken on and talked about is a bag. Is being taken care of by everybody else, thinking like, or speaking as if she has outsmarted the system, or she's outsmarted the average individual. She done cracked the code. Where are the elders in her life? Where are the wise people that have been through this situation? Even some family members, some older friends, some clergy people, anybody. But then again, she might have them and she just hard-headed and don't want to listen because she got her eyes on the prize, which is she equates her self-worth and her self-esteem with that money, or what equates to the money. I appreciate you, Chill. Thank you so much for the super chat, y'all. I guess, look, I didn't even say I came out swinging, but I do I do want to take a moment to say there is a goal that I've set. There are memberships available. Super chats are always appreciated. I appreciate any blessing. I appreciate the engagement in the chat. I'm grateful for all of the new subs. I'm grateful for the ones that are here. Appreciate the members, current and future. And yeah, I appreciate y'all. Oh, y'all. And I didn't even put my banner up. Oh, we got Laverne in the house. Listen, I got something for Laverne. I got something for Laverne. So if anybody knows, most people do at this point. Miss Yo Thoughts and myself are known as Laverne and Shirley. Check this out, y'all. If y'all could be a fly on the wall, okay? During our conversations behind the scenes, shout out to Your Thoughts in the building. I appreciate you, sis, for being here. So look, because y'all know I'll go left, but I don't want to get off topic because this is important. Now, when you listen to her speak, she is speaking, in my opinion, from a generational viewpoint. So that brings me to generational cycles of poverty, generational cycles of instability, generational cycles of government dependency, and all of these generational, in my opinion, curses are hard to break without first some self-accountability. And without change. But you can't change what you won't acknowledge. You can't change what you don't identify with. You have to know what works for you and what does not. But without accountability, you're not going to be able to evolve because all of us are flawed. Every last one of us are flawed. Okay? So she got a little bit more on this video, and then I want to get to a little bit to talking about the self-snitching culture. Because, see, I'm old enough to reflect in times we didn't have internet. We had Polaroid. I still got my mom and daddy's Polaroid cameras. They got two of them. My daddy had one and my mama had one. Where you put the film in, you click it and the picture come out. Boy, we thought we was rich. We thought we had cracked the code. We thought, listen, we were the hottest thing smoking in the neighborhood when we got our Polaroid cameras. Go out there and spend it. Back then, I think the rolls were like $8 to $10, which was expensive, but I mean, you got it right then and there, and you got to see it actually develop before your very eyes, right? So that was the equivalent of social media today. That was my humble beginnings. I remember when we had television that cut off at 12 o'clock at night with the Star Spangled Banner. When the Star Spangled Banner commercial played, you knew that was the end of it until about 6 o'clock in the morning. And then at 6 o'clock in the morning, the news came on. And now we're here. We're here where even babies walk around with devices in their hand and know how to push the live button, know how to push the record button, know how to push the snap button for the pictures, putting everything on camera. People can't even live. You got a lot of these influencers. They hit the live button and tell their whole life. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is private. Nothing is not for the public's consumption. I don't understand that. And maybe that's because I'm a private person by nature. But even so, like on this thing here, I'm still private. Everything ain't for the public. But she's emboldened enough to come up on this thing here and say, I'm killing the game. I'm a single mom. I'm getting ready to have another child, which is going to make my count of children to 8. None of the baby daddies are in the home. All of them are on child support. And I'm committing governmental fraud with a plug down at the SNAP benefit office. I'm sure they're not going to appreciate that because I'm telling you, if I'm irritated by this young lady's presence and she has gone viral, there are many others, other sets of eyes that are going to lay on this video and they're going to start doing some homework. And probably about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month, she could be on here crying and hollering, talking about how could somebody take her SNAP benefits? How could somebody take food out of her children's mouths? Her baby daddies ain't paying child support, or at least all of them ain't paying, or they're not paying consistently. And if she's got Section 8, guess what? That's at risk too, because any type of fraud with a governmental agency disqualifies you from any type of governmental assistance if it's done correctly. Let's continue, y'all.
So, yeah, don't judge me. That's it. We all go through things, just don't judge me.
Okay, we all go through things. I'm not saying we don't. We all go through things, but what I can tell you is how many dumbass decisions do you need to make that everybody else needs to support or compensate you for? That's, to me, it's like, okay, there's no accountability there because none is being required at this point or has been up until this point. You just keep procreating. You keep having babies. You keep laying on the table. And I bet you any amount of money that oldest child is the better parent than she is. If she had a child at 14 and she's at number 8, she's at least, if she had one every year, she's at least 22, 23 years old. Self-snitching. Why do people share all of this online? Why do people post illegal activity publicly? They coming on these things bragging, boasting, playing in folks' faces. People that get up and go to work. They can't qualify. We got veterans out here that can't qualify for $15 or $20 of SNAP benefits because they make $3 over the required maximum allowed. But because you done cracked the code and you done found, as many others, the loophole in the system that all you got to do is keep breeding, because that's all you're doing. There's no family structure. There's no interest in family. The family is not the primary objective, the primary goal, the vision. You around here having children so somebody can continue to take care of your ass. Frankly, in order for me to maintain multiple streams of income coming into my home, I get up and I go hard all day, every day. I don't get no days off. I have to be mindful. Now I can, but because I'm so goal oriented and I want the best for my family, I try to maintain a healthy balance, but I like shit. I don't like just having things that I need. I like having a few of my wants as well. But I pay taxes on all of that. Why are you so entitled? Now, you doing all of this illegal boasting on the internet. Do you not understand that that is inviting investigation and in the end, consequences? I'm not sure it really connects with her because she says that so freely, so openly. And up until now, it doesn't seem like she's really had any consequences. It's like the more children she has, the more income she acquires, whether it's through child support, whether she gets it or not, the judgments are there, the SNAP benefits, and any other type of assistance that she gets. Oh, believe you me, she's on Section 8 too. Maybe that was by design and she didn't mention that, but you're not going to have 8 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment. Section 8 is going to approve adequate housing for all of those children. In most cases. When it comes to self-snitching, many don't understand that these videos are used in court cases and in fraud investigations. Your thoughts, listen, that's what I mean by no accountability. Because if she has been held accountable or have had any types of consequences up until now, she would be moving differently. Okay? She would be moving way different. So you're absolutely right. They don't think that they're going to get caught. And then you have some people that do this just for the chase. They do it for the thrill. They do it for the excitement. They do it to see if they're going to be able to execute it without consequence, because up until now, they still haven't had any consequences. But I'm going to tell you one thing that this YouTube jigamabob, shout out to my girl Laverne, has taught me is that the times that we are living in, particularly in 2025, baby, karma is not messing around. Karma is meeting you where you are. Oh, you want to cut up and act out? Boom. Then let me go ahead and expose you, because you done got too big for your britches. You've been big for your britches for a while. People, all you got to do is watch it, observe it. Listen, I'm at a season and at an age in my life where I make sure I live right. Ain't nothing worse, in my opinion, than being an elderly individual asking for somebody to bail your ass out of jail off of something that could have been prevented. Okay? Shout out to Leon from DC. Yes, indeed. Appreciate you so much. Wait a minute. I got to highlight it. There we go. Thank you so much for the super sticker, Leon. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He said, you are speaking. You are my speaking the word. Amen. Amen. Listen, I was triggered by this. I ain't going to even lie to you. I saw this video and I said, I wasn't even going to go live today. I couldn't help it. I said, this is crazy. And since we're talking about accountability, there's two types of accountability that come to mind. And one of them is cultural and the other one is moral. But she lacks both, in my opinion. Now, when you speak of accountability, and I want to want it from a community aspect. As a community, when do we stop applauding dysfunction and start advocating for better? There's a saying, when you know better, you do better. To me, that's too logical. When you got a whole bunch of folks around here, they're applauding the dysfunction. They're feeding off of the dysfunction. These social media platforms reward you off of dysfunction. You get the views, you get the following, you get from the spiciness, from the stepping out on the edge, from the disrespect, from the drama. That is what's making people rich. And in times where inflation is high, jobs are still scarce and low paying, people are trying to find other ways of earning income, fast and easy money. What are they going to do? They're going to watch how other people do it. How you get 3 million followers? How you get 1.5 million followers? What you talking about online? What platform pays the most? How about this? How about we just go and do them on all different platforms? When do we stop applauding dysfunction and start advocating for better? We don't care about right no more. Thank you, Taco Man. I appreciate you. I'm sorry. Listen, y'all, I'm in my bag. I'm trying to highlight it. I don't know what happened. Taco Man, thank you so much. I appreciate. Okay, I think that's what happened. Hold on. Nope, it won't let me do it. Boom. Okay, got it. Taco Man, thank you again. I appreciate you. Thank you for the contribution, and thank you for just being here. I'm just grateful that you're here, right? Listen, Easy did it. You're too much like right. Too much, and I don't know why you in this sector. So to my mods, can we drop Easy Did It's link in the chat, please? And any of the other content creators, we got Cutting Edge in the building. Please, to the mods, drop the content creators links in the chat. Again, we can automatically make that a practice. I don't have to approve it. It's just, it should be something that we naturally do. So Easy did it. I know I don't have 300-400 people in my chat. However, the people that I do have, hopefully you'll get you some subs and support. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Listen. Okay, we're talking about accountability. There's this word I always use, and it's discernment, because it's very instrumental in my personal life. It's something that if it's used properly, if it's harnessed correctly, if I'm obedient to it, it doesn't steer me wrong. I still make mistakes, but I don't make as many as I used to make. And the reason is because of my discernment. It's a muscle. You don't use it, you lose it. That being said, discernment is not judgment. It's an indicative of self-respect and community preservation. One of the problems that we have is that we don't value community anymore. Everybody's a narcissist. Everybody's self-seeking. Everybody's selfish. Everybody's thinking of themselves. And I'm speaking on a general level. Shout out to my people in my tribe that value their families, that look out for their neighbors, that are sensitive to strangers and their needs, because they are part of the community as well, your community. If you see the same cashiers and the same employees at the grocery store that you frequent, the gas station, the Whole Foods down the street, the sandwich shop, the butcher shop, that is part of your community. What does that say if all of those hardworking people are paying taxes and you sitting on your ass having all these children because that's your form of getting a bag? That is not serving your community. It's not preserving your community. Community is nowhere in the scheme or definition of selfishness, of I'm going to do what I need to do for me and mine. And you wonder why you're not blessed. Or you wonder why your blessings are fleeting. You wonder why you get in that bag, but that money's burning a hole through your hand because you didn't do it right. God cares about his children. God looks out for his children. You ever heard somebody that knows that they're a child of God that says, God don't play about me? He don't play about a lot of us. So if you playing in our faces, God gonna take that personal. Make no mistake about it. And one of the problems that I see in the community and that I recognize in this young lady's clip is that God wasn't mentioned not one time, nor any godlike qualities. That's the first and biggest problem right there. Now, if we don't raise the bar for what we strive for ourselves, nobody else is going to do it for us. That's not how we're set up. That young lady is expecting for everybody outside of her so she can continue to elude accountability and to avoid it. Her focus has to stay on everybody else doing for her. And she thinks that that's really a come up. When she doesn't realize that it's by default. It is by a loophole or one of the many in the system. Come on with it, CC. Come on. That's not woman-ish. And that's not mother-ish. That is not the being having mother-like qualities. Mother sacrifice. Every day, all day. Being a mother is synonymous and equal to the definition and the very meaning of sacrifice. You can't have one without the other and do it right. What's that saying? Once you have kids, it ain't about you no more. Never a truer phrase spoken. So if you selfish with one child, you selfish with 3 children, you selfish with 7 children, you selfish with 8 children. You think you're going to be blessed? Don't get old. Don't get sick. Don't need somebody because your well done ran dry. You done stepped on everybody around you to the point where nobody want to fool with you. And your children are collateral damage. So because of your actions, people don't even really want to deal with your children because they got to deal with your ass. You get old, you get sick, you get feeble. You're going to get in return what you gave. On a personal note, I took care of my mom and my dad in their last days when they was ill. And God, I didn't look at it, and I've said this before, but to those that may not have heard it, it's very dear to me because I was traumatized initially when I saw my mother and my father take their last breath, not realizing that it was one of the biggest gifts that God ever gave me. And how it happened, neither one of them took their last breath without making sure I was there. Holding their hand, praying over them, talking to them. My mother was having a full-blown heart attack. And she was able to call me her angel child and thanked me for being there for her. Her health was failing for 10 years. There wasn't a day that went by that I was not there catering to every single solitary need that she had out of love. She gave me the biggest gift that I could ever have, and that was life. And the only thing that I pray to God for is that my children will return the favor. And I would be so lucky to make sure that I don't leave here alone. This young lady doesn't have a clue, unfortunately, that the decisions that she is making at this very moment, she has paved the way for how her life is going to go. So, with that being said, We're going to wrap this thing up. If anybody wants me to drop the link, I can drop the link, but I'm going to give my little conclusion. And then if nobody wants to come up, then we'll bounce up on out of here. But this young lady, I'm telling you, she's not by herself. She's not alone. There are more out here like her that make me comfortable. And every time I do a live stream, I always like to present some plausible, impossible solutions. How do we shift this narrative? How do we put the information out there for those that maybe are looking for another answer other than the ones that are being permeated and pushed through these social media platforms on such a large scale that it has become normal and people have become super comfortable in coming on these things here, flaws and all, with no accountability. Being a parent is the biggest responsibility any of us will have. We have to push for parenting and financial literacy programs. They don't teach it in the school systems like they should. So that's where the parents step in. We should be teaching our children about financial literacy, whether they go to a public school, a private school, or they're homeschooled. How to maintain a bank account, stocks, how the stock market works, how to invest, whether they decide to do it or not, how real estate functions. This is going to go over a lot of people's heads, unfortunately, but those aren't the people I'm talking to. When I say that it requires sacrifice, it is our responsibility as parents to equip. To me, it is a form of child abuse to not equip our children to navigate through this world. It is moving at an accelerated rate. It is changing every 24 hours. When I tell you it is our responsibility, that's exactly what it is. We have to also normalize emotional intelligence. You have to read, you have to seek out information. You got to look at positive and select what goes in your eye and ear gates. I'm guilty of it. I like the bullshit sometimes. Absolutely. However, I have to remind myself and I have to recalibrate. Because when I start feeling like my scale is imbalanced, I got to get back right. You can't afford to go too far to the left or to the right. We have to co-parent responsibly. If you're not with the parent of that child, you picked them. You picked her. You planted your seed in her and she allowed your seed to be planted in her. That had to be a mutual, in most cases, it had to be a mutual understanding and consent. You don't get to just say, okay, well, I don't want to deal with that person no more because we don't get along. That's not being accountable. And it's not for the best interests of the children. And it's also our responsibility to have stable relationships. That means you got to do some work too. That means you got to make some concessions. That means that you have to absolutely make some sacrifices in that area, even if it's just for the welfare of the children. We have to empower our children, not exploit the system that they're in, not brag about not doing anything, but thinking that the clout comes from what people give you that don't even know you. The circle of life is not going to reward you if somebody is giving you more than you give yourself, or you give your seeds, i.e., your children. So this video is not about judging one woman, even though I have my opinion about her. It is about what this video and this story represents. We are at a cultural crossroads where clout has replaced character. But if we want to elevate as a community, we will have no choice but to value substance over clout, over scandal, over accountability. You can't have one without the other. Accountability has to come over the applause. It's uncomfortable to hold yourself accountable. It's uncomfortable to say the hard truths about your flaws. But it's the only way you will evolve as a person and as a parent. So let's teach the next generation that success doesn't come from gaming the system, but it comes from building. And I appreciate you, Leon from DC. Thank you for your patience. Talk to me.
Oh no, ma'am. You are preaching gospel. You have such a beautiful mind. I just wanted to just come up and say that. I didn't want to change nothing you were saying. You are talking gospel right now. This message needs to be spread. Like you are talking. You are spreading the word.
I appreciate that. Yes, and thank you for that. Please share the live stream on your walls, y'all. Share it if you feel like somebody will benefit from it. Just share it on your live stream.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are talking. You are talking that talk, Miss Lady. You are talking that talk.
Leon, but I want to hear from them if you don't mind. While I got your ear, and
yes,
I have your presence on the panel. I said a mouthful. What do you think about that? Is there anything that you disagree with? Is there anything that stuck out to you? Is there anything that you can add, being the yang to the yin of parenting, of a household, of a family unit?
The one thing that I can say honestly, and I'm just speaking from personal experience, that you preaching accountability means something. Hearing it from a woman say it. It's one thing when a man tell a woman something, but it's another thing when her sister or her friend can talk to her. Like you preaching gospel right now. You ain't said nothing wrong, Miss Lady. I promise you didn't. You ain't said nothing wrong.
That lady bothered me because, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because not only was she like haughty in her words, bold in her words, like she felt like she was like she had a right to say it, and nobody.
Yeah, like she was entitled. Like she was entitled. Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. Yes. And nobody had a right to give her pushback, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But the other thing that bothered me is always about the children.
Because they're the ones that lose ultimately at the end. It's the child that's going to not see his father or see mommy and daddy argue. However that go, the child is the one that gets affected the most.
Preach it. And that's what bothers me. These children are collateral damage. And we wonder why we got these kids out here that don't have any regard for life. They got switches. They out here taking each other out for no reason. They don't even have to have a reason. They don't have to be offended. They don't have to have their feelings hurt. They just haven't been guided, parented, or nothing's been poured into them to make them feel any different or feel anything at all.
I would say, yeah, it's a lot of that. If you notice, I don't know how old your children are. It's none of my business, but my two youngest are still in school. So I mean, you could just see the death stare in them. Like nothing matters to them. You got suspended from school. Okay, I'm gonna call your mama. Okay, they just don't care. The police pull up. They don't. It's like it's no repercussions anymore. And you know, parents kind of want to be the kid's friend instead of being a parent because it's easier to be the friend. You know, a lot of parents are lazy. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. Like, you can tell who got a grip on their kids and who don't. I'm just gonna leave it right there. I don't want to disrespect nobody.
Well said. And facts. Those are facts. We got Easy Did It, y'all. Easy Did It's in the building. Thank you for coming up. Sorry if I had you waiting back there long.
Oh no, you good, you good.
Talk to us, Easy.
No, but I just wanted to say about the food, about the like the government assistance. In my opinion, it appears that the government assistance is made for women. It's not made for single fathers. I was a single father with 3 kids at that time, and you try to go down there and ask for assistance as a man, they're gonna look at you crazy. But
that part,
if you're a woman and you go down there, you know they'll give you something.
And send the police to your job.
Yeah, they'll send the police to your job and everything.
Not because you
your license or whatever like that.
Easy, I want to try and cut you off, Easy. I've just been there and done that. I want to try and cut you off. Been there and done that. I already know how baby mamas go. So you preaching, brother. I'm gonna go on mute. Go ahead, talk, brother.
I mean, because if the government really cared, they would come out with a workforce program for single fathers, in my opinion. And then if they really cared, they come out with a workforce program, for single mothers. So therefore, they wouldn't have to be on food stamps for 3, 5, 7, 12 years and stuff. But I think Malcolm X said it the best. Huh?
Say that again, Easy.
And I was gonna say, I think Malcolm X had said something like that. We shouldn't be dependent on the government for assistance, because pretty much it's set up to take the father out the household. So therefore, government steps in and be like, "Hey, you don't need that, nigga. We'll come take care of you." And there you have it.
That started in the
cycle ever since. Exactly.
It started in the 70s.
I remember when I'm old enough to remember when I was in my freshman year of high school was the last year that they had trades in school. My sophomore year, they took out everything but the music program. We had shop, we had home economics, we had mechanic. You learn how to build things. I still have my first and only wooden jewelry box that I made in shop. It was a motivation for a lot of the kids to even go to school instead of just sitting in the classroom being talked to all day. You were able to interact, to do things. We were baking cookies. We had aprons. Learn how to make salads, learn the foods that were healthy, because we didn't really have a lot of processed foods back then. Even the processed foods, they were a notch down from, the farm foods, like coming out of the ground and all of that, but they didn't have all the chemicals and stuff that they have into it now. And that was by design. So now you got all the trades there, you got to pay. You have to go. That's a whole nother separate program. If you're fortunate enough to find a school that focuses on trades like high schools and stuff, there's a list that is so long that a lot of kids still don't get in, or if they get in, they don't get in until their junior or senior years. So you don't get the full experience.
Can I chime in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I just want to say one thing, Easy. I want to try and cut you off. I got kicked out of like regular school, so then I went to a vocational school. I don't know if they call that vocational school everywhere, but it's like, Votech. There you go, brother.
Votech.
I
Yep.
love that school. I love that school more than high school. Just like Mr. Kimmy said, she said my jewelry box. I made that so however long ago, and it means more to me than anything because it shows you that you can do things with your hands. At that vocational school I went to, it taught, like she said, mechanics, carpentry, landscaping. The women had typing. I forget what it's called. It's called typing something. And then they had like a
Yeah.
head thing. So it was like it would give everybody, because everybody don't subside to just sit down, read your book, do your homework, take this test, and now you pass. Like certain people are above that. It don't mean they bad or slow or anything like that. It just means that you're not grabbing their attention. And that's what I feel like school is losing out. But I ain't mean to cut you off, Easy. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, at the like at the high school that I went to, we had VOTEC classes and stuff. You know, we had welding, mechanics, masonry, carpenter, and stuff like that. And pretty much, I mean, you learn with your hands. Cause I took welding classes and stuff. You know, so I remember like one of the things that we used to do, like we used to make bongs and pipes and everything in welding classes. But I mean, it's a good thing though, because I mean, you're using your hands. You know, I mean, like you said, you're not just sitting down and stuff. You know, listening to a teacher, you know, telling you stuff, and
there you go.
Pretty much, you know, I guess trying to teach you how to be a worker instead of an owner, which I used to fall asleep in class anyway. So, but I had a recorder, so you know, like I recorded the conversation and whatever, you know, and then I go to sleep, and then teacher be like, why you sleep in class? I said, well, I mean, your voice is kind of monotone. And then, and then like, she'll give me the test, and then she'd be like, you sleep in my class every day. How you pass my test?
How you pass the test? Like, right, exactly.
And I'd be like, just because I'm sleeping don't mean I ain't paying attention.
Osmosis. Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah. Yep.
And when you on typing, that's how I learned to type. And let me tell you, when I took typing class, I took it in the 6th grade. I was the first one in the class. Some kids would lollygag and they get their little 3 or 5 minutes to get from one building to the next. Honey, I would be the first one in that classroom sitting at that already at the typewriter practicing because I know that's right. Type. Yes.
You said the typewriter. That's the one that click.
Yeah, because that was before computers. We had
you talk about the old school typewriter.
Yeah, you talking about the old school. But look though, you gotta understand that sound might have triggered her mind. Like, ooh, I like that sound. So she wanted to do it. Like, I mean, it's music. It's whatever it is. You catch a rhythm around 8th, 9th, 10th grade, I guess. That's when you kind of venture off into who you are. And then you like what you like, you know, and schools don't teach that no more. Schools don't teach nothing about saving money. Nothing. They just get you in there, take this test, do this, like y'all said, and then, all right, go on now. And it was certain students in my class that I remember that they got all bad grades, but they'll just pass them just to get them along. You know what I mean? Yeah, they did that too.
CC says sewing. Yep, driver's ed. I didn't. Now my daddy was my driver's ed. Thank goodness, because
I know that's right.
I think I would have gave them other people a heart attack. I listen to me. I ain't listen to nobody.
Oh, well, I already had a license when I took driver's ed.
You said you had a license?
When I took driver's ed, I already had my license. Yeah.
I was driving.
Yeah, because I got my license when I was 16. And then I took driver's ed when I was 17. The only reason why I took driver's ed was because they had told me that it would give me 10% off my insurance, which I think that was a lie because I still paid the same amount.
Boy, you a smart man. Well, you've been pinching pennies for a long time, my nigga. Smart man.
They say the one that pinches pennies always got money.
Man, look here. If I could save $1, I will.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie to neither one of y'all, man. My father. Hey, look, my father always told me it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And that just stuck with me for life. I was like 8 years old or something. He told me that.
But you just said
Exactly.
something, Leon. You just said something. You said your daddy told you that.
Yes, ma'am.
He ain't lying.
The life lessons and the things that stick with us the most, I know for me, came from my parents. It didn't come from
Absolutely.
strangers. It didn't come from the school teachers or the staff.
Oh, what?
It
I
didn't
was
even
never
come
scared of my
from
friends. I was always scared of my parents. Like, I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. My daddy said he gonna whoop my ass if I ain't in the house by the street light. So fuck what y'all talking about. Y'all go on. I'm going in the house.
period.
I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm down.
That part. Mhm. And I
Exactly.
also believe that because when you trusted your parents, you always knew your parents had your best interests better and more than anybody else. So you trusted them more. So
Yes,
my daddy used to always have this saying, I ain't gonna never tell you nothing, baby girl, that's gonna hurt you.
there you go. I ain't gonna tell you nothing wrong.
Hmm.
Hard head, make a soft ass. All those old ass sayings I used to hear back in the day. I used to be like, man, wait. Now I got kids. I'm like, oh, now I know exactly what the fuck they was talking about.
Yes.
Good.
And
Mm,
Easy Did It said something that was so true. And it was probably one of the motivating factors for me to respond to this video and do this live is that these programs were specifically, in my opinion, they were constructed to disassemble the family, to take the fathers out of the home.
man.
Therefore, if the government became your husband, if the government became the baby's
Mhm.
daddy, if the government became invested, if the government became the primary source of resources and for provision, then what do we need the man for? But as long as we had the family unit, it kept the family together for generations. It kept the family
Yes,
reunions
man.
going. It kept, even with the Medias, it kept everybody on a cohesive level. We had more businesses, family small businesses were involved or were effective back then. But now we don't even think we need baby daddies anymore. We don't think we need a family or a husband or a whole cohesive unit.
I feel like this, Miss Akemi. What you doing right now? The way you talking to the women. I mean, I know the men in here listening like, hell yeah. We agree with everything you saying, but it's not enough women like you preaching to the sisters. You and Miss Joe Thoughts. Miss Joe Thoughts be dropping bombs too, like a motherfucker. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, but it's like y'all be dropping bombs, and it's like it's not enough of y'all. It's enough of, oh yeah, girl, get them, all that, but it's not enough of y'all talking. You get what I'm trying to say?
I do. I
It's
do.
it's not enough of y'all. We need way more y'all. We need y'all. We need y'all women to talk to these girls, these young women, these young ladies, whatever. We need y'all to talk to them, because when we talk to them, we arguing with a woman. We being misogynistic. We're being this. We're being that. You know what I'm saying? But when a woman talks to another woman, it might be more receptive. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, to some, it's better than none for sure. But I cannot. Me and Miss Yo, we live in it. We
Mm-hmm.
have enough to compare today's times to the old days,
Yes,
to
ma'am.
what works, to what's not working, why it's not working, what is
Exactly.
changed in order to have it not work or for it to be broken. Looking at it from a systematic vantage point, it has been very calculated. And so it's real
Yes,
easy
yes.
for us to blame one another because you got the women or the single, a lot of the single mothers being again taken care of by the government, so they're not going to bash the government.
Right.
They're going
Because
to
they
bash
depend on because they depend on the government. Yeah. Hmm. It's easier to kick the man out the house and just let Uncle Sam pay your rent. You gotta 4-bedroom house and you pay $30 a month, you get $1,600 a month in food stamps. So the more kids you get, the more that little lady you was just playing. That's what she was talking about, and that's the cycle that's going on, because a lot of these young women today grew up in Section 8, and their mama was doing that back during the crack era, during when they was locking up all the men. And the man, the baby father in jail. Now it's a systematic thing, like you were just saying. It's absolutely, you dead on. You are dead on.
And it's unfortunate because a lot of people that receive or that think it's normal don't really have anything to compare it to. It's a lot of the younger generation. You got some older generation too, because like you said, some of it's generational. So it comes from the ideas, or it comes from the single grandmothers, where if you look at the life
expectancy or whoever, yes, exactly, right.
Women, what I'm saying? So you got there are some families that have been together, but then the head of the household passes away first, and now you got Medeas, and you got the mother or the grandmother.
That's the
aspect. They have to take over, and it becomes, to me, there's a confusion of roles. That's why you got a lot of women out here that are masculine.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And then you have a lot of men that are effeminate.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, it's terrible. It's a terrible time we living in.
The Bible tells you what's up is down, and what's down is up. And I'm telling you, it's more and more true every day when you look around you. When you got people like this young lady coming on these social media apparatuses talking about, I'm killing the game because I'm getting $3,000 a month in food stamps, and you got the veteran that served 20 years in the military that can even get $100 a month if they qualify.
On the sidewalk.
Come on,
Mr. Kimmy, listen. I don't try to be bragging on the shit, but I'm talking about Washington D.C., the Capitol, all that, the monument. The U.S. Park Police come through at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and clean all them people up. Come on, you gotta move. We ain't gonna lock you up. You just gotta move out of here before all them people and all the news people and all that come down there to record in front. It's homeless people living, and they veterans. They ain't, all of them ain't on drugs and all this and all bad. They just veterans, and it's sad. It's sad. That's a whole nother conversation, though, Mr. King. I'm sorry. That's a whole nother conversation.
It is. And you know what? Even though you're speaking specifically to the DC area,
yes, ma'am.
It's worse now because they done took a lot of the governmental jobs away, and that's the governmental mecca for jobs in the country, right? But I'm telling you, no matter where you go, the homelessness for veterans has increased dramatically, and it's crazy that we are living in a government in a time where they don't have value for the people that fight for this country. It's really unfortunate.
That's the key word, Mr. Kimmy. Value, integrity. That's what I feel like this generation, this young generation. That's why I feel sorry for my kids, because they got to deal with this bull. Like, I'm old enough to know, like, man, you don't run that on me, man. Fuck out of here, dog. Like, but they in that situation where it's like, well, Daddy, they said, then I'm the bad guy. Fuck what they said anyway. But it's the generation that it's no accountability. Anything is make believe. NBA 2K is real life basketball. Grand Theft Auto is real life. I'm gonna walk up on you with a gun and just do what I want to do, and I ain't gonna go to jail, get killed, and respawn in another location. Like, these people are crazy, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I agree with that. We got Easy Did It. Why he got a signal? What you got? You good with the mic? I hear you a little bit.
I might be. I just wanted to piggyback off of what y'all was talking about the veterans and stuff. All right, now, I remember the first time I went to DC. Actually, this is when I was staying up in Alexandria at the time. I went to DC for the first time. Man, I've never seen so many homeless veterans, and I'm just like,
Come
wait a
on.
minute, this is the
Come
damn
on, bro.
capital. Why is there
Come
so
on,
many
bro.
homeless veterans out here? Now, I
Come
thought New
on, bro.
Orleans was bad about homeless veterans and stuff, but when I went to DC, man, I could not believe that shit. I'm like, what the hell?
Come on. I
I'm
ain't
like, this is
lying.
how y'all treat soldiers? Well, shit.
They do them people. They do them people dirty, Mo. They do them dirty as shit, yeah. They do them dirty.
And that just goes to show how the priorities of
I just
this
never seen nothing like
culture is
that before.
messed up.
I'm just
Yeah,
like,
no, it's
wow. And I
bad.
think I was like 21 or 22 at the time.
Yes. I want to address or respond to Paul. Shout out to Paul. Welcome to the chat, Paul. Just seeing you. Listen, because many young people don't know why they are here, they need the creator Jesus. And that's what I was saying earlier is that, God, it seems like it's so easy for some people to take God out of the equation and act as if they are making things exist on their own, or that man is alone the most high in God when it is not. And I
Preach.
need for people to understand that your spiritual, whatever you call your higher power, that is not something that I'm here to debate, but just to acknowledge that you do acknowledge and believe in a power higher than yourself, and that you have a spiritual appetite for something bigger than yourself that will allow you to be able to pursue what they call purpose, to tap in to find out what your purpose is. When you're not goal oriented, when you're not purpose driven, you're just here existing, and you have no direction, you have no focus, you don't have anything to really strive for. And I could go on and on about that, but I can't emphasize how important having spiritual health and having spiritual acknowledgement in something that is bigger than you is. And that was what I wanted to say about that. Shout out to Paul for that comment.
Mm, mm, mm. Mr. King, I just want to say this before I drop down because I don't want to sit up here all day with you. I know you got other things to talk about, but I love what you are doing. I'm a supporter. I'm subbed up. Every time you go live, I'm gonna be here with you. I love what you're doing. Please don't let nobody to tell you, stop you. But I already know you're smarter than that. But just keep doing what you're doing. I love what you're doing. It's so refreshing.
Well, I appreciate that and your support, and just the fact that you vocalize those words. I need that sometimes. I know people, sometimes think that they don't need positive reinforcement or encouragement for others. I'm not one of those people. I'm a community person. I'm a tribal individual. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you coming up on the panel and contributing to the topic and the conversation. And you're invited anytime.
Oh, I appreciate that very much, man. You have a wonderful day. Thank you. Salute to the chat and everybody else. Thank you for having me up.
All right. You as well. Thank you, Leon.
All right.
All right. So I don't see Easy back in the chat. I know he's having some technical difficulties. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, y'all. I just I don't want to make this too long-winded, but I just wanted to say that I appreciate everybody for coming through. For those that are coming in or that came in later in the live stream, please go back and watch the replay, because I played the video that I reacted to somewhat toward the beginning of the live stream. And I just wanted to say that, it's worth going back with and reviewing. So again, I want to teach the next generation that success, it comes from building something better. It comes from communal and tribal living. We need our fathers. We need our mothers. We need our family units. Our children need us. And they need us healthy. They need us logical. They need us invested. They need us willing to sacrifice. that family structure is everything. And that's why the powers that be have invested so much time, energy, resources, and effort into dismantling it, particularly in certain communities. And I want to encourage that unless we get back to the tribal living, the communal living, believing in community, trusting one another, respecting one another, and putting our families first, starting with each other and then our children. Because if we're not straight, we're not going to be able to pour into our children correctly and effectively. And so, with that being said, I appreciate all of the blessings of the super chats. I appreciate the engagement in the chat. I shout out to Leon and Easy Did It for hitting the panel. And yeah, I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'm going to release you to get back to the bullshit. So, peace and blessings to everybody. Peace.